I want to talk to you about selfishness. You know, a lot of folks think that prepping is selfish, and I used to freaking get all upset about that, you know, because I don't think prepping is necessarily selfish. I think that the more people that prep, the better prepared society as a whole is. I think prepping is a positive attitude. But, you know, I think some of my anger was a little misplaced because, you know, it was, prepping's not selfish, you know, how dare you say that. But, you know, I think now it's, prepping is it might be selfish, but being selfish in that aspect isn't negative, right? And so, yes, I just said, I think selfishness is a good thing. But not that immature kind of selfishness of toddlers. You know, my boy, he runs around, he's, you know, that big. Then he thinks what his is his, what's mine is his. You know, if he wants it, it's his. The only stuff that's mine is stuff that's broke. And it's mine until I fix it, and then it's his again, right? So it's my job as a parent to teach him not to be selfish, right? To share and those sorts of things. But, you know, at some point, if you're not selfish, then you don't grow, right? You know, if you work hard for things because you want to succeed in life, you want to succeed in life, you want more than the average person. You want to own your stuff. And that is selfish. But, you know, that's not a negative, right? There's nothing wrong with that. You know, if I have cookies and I want my cookies, and you come to me and say, man, those are some good cookies, I'd like some, you know, let me buy some cookies from you, right? And so I see I've got cookies, I want the cookies, but that money's cool too. And I think that money is worth more than my cookies. So I give him some cookies, I get some money. You know, he wants some cookies. He's willing to pay for them because he thinks the cookies are worth more than his money. So I got more than I had, he got more than he had, and all of a sudden wealth is created out of thin air, right? Because we were both selfish, we have created wealth. A lot of folks think that the world is this zero-sum game, and that business, and, you know, if you're rich or you've put stuff aside, then somehow you've screwed everybody else, right? And that's not true, because it's not one pie. And if he has half the pie, the rest of us have to split half the pie. That's not how it works, right? Because every time there's a transition between I give you what you want, you give me what I want, we both increased, we both take the time that we're good at to do things that we're more productive at. I might make good cookies, he might make good business decisions. You know, so it's easy for him to get money. It's easy for me to make cookies. So he gives me some money. What do? I make more cookies. Same thing with the businessman. He might take half the pie, but then he comes back with a whole nother pie. And sure, he gets a cut of half of it. He's the one producing it, right? And I get a smaller piece because I produce less of it, you know? So I don't think that's negative. Now with that, and the article that goes along with this video has a much more reasoned argument, but I'm kind of ranting right now because I just saw a whole bunch of negative comments on a Kickstarter page for the third movie of Atlas Shrugged, and I'm like, what the heck, man? How can you like Atlas Shrugged and not understand, you know, what Kickstarter's about? And people have done that to me too. You're begging. I'm not going to watch your videos anymore because you're begging. You know, Kickstarter's not about begging. It's about, I want to create something. I need some help to do it, right? So rather than going to the bank and giving the bank money to do it, I'm going to give other people an opportunity to get involved, and then they get something for their efforts, right? Whether it's an email thank you for $1 or 5,000 bucks to be an extra on the scene of Atlas Shrugged. Man, you know, they're not going around putting guns to people's heads and say, you will give me 5,000 bucks so I can make this movie, right? You know, we'll leave that to the government and the tax agents and the IRS and stuff. You know, if you want to be an extra in the movie, you give them the money. It's worth more to you to be part of that system, to be part of that, you know, thing that they're making than your money. And if I had 5,000 bucks, I bet you I would pay to be an extra on that movie. Because I don't see a lot of movies, because most movies are liberal, you know, yah-yah sisterhood of the traveling crybabies, and I don't need that junk, right? But Atlas Shrugged, when it come out, I went to go see it in the movie. They came out and they said, you know, make a video to say, you know, I am John Galt, and you get put on it. And I did, and guess what? I was lined up to be the first one to see that movie when it came to Nashville, right? So I did that. You know, they didn't do anything for the second. Now they've got this Kickstarter page for the third one, and if I can find some money to put aside, you know, to get a reward that I think is worthwhile for the struggle for me to put money aside, I'm going to do it because I want to support it. And so that's what Kickstarter's about. You want to be a part, you get something from it. So you give something to be a part of something. It's not selfish. That's free market economy, right? You know, all these folks are like, you know, give money to charity and I'm not selfish because I give money away. It is selfish because it makes you feel good. You're not doing it for the poor, downtrodden, whatever. You're doing it because it makes you feel good to help the poor, downtrodden, whoever, right? So let's be honest and realize that everybody does stuff for a reason. They want to do it because it makes them feel good, or they rashly have said, this is what I need to do to get what I want later on, you know, or there's something in it for everybody, for everything anybody does, right? You know, my wife doesn't stay with me, you know, because I'm extremely handsome, right? The way I talk to her, something about our relationship makes her keep wanting to stay with me. And if I stopped doing that, I bet she would leave, right? So, you know, that's just the way it is. So anybody who tells you selfishness is a bad thing, find out if they're talking about that immature, you know, basically sociopathic, everything is mine and everything is my plaything, right? Because if you're an adult and you're still at that stage, there's something wrong with you, right? Or moderated, you know, I'm going to do what is right, for me, you know? I'm not going to force anybody else to do anything that's right for me, but I'm going to do what's right for me. I'm going to put money in the bank for retirement, right? I'm going to go to work today. Because that kind of selfishness, prepper kind of selfishness, actually makes the world go better, right? I do my job because I get paid. But people pay me to do that job because it gives them what they need, right? So selfishness is a good thing. Thank you very much.